on our wrists. People taking pictures and people filling they swishes with more than weed. They shiftless, their profit sweet. Jesus is hard to control these demons when this.
Yo, what up, y'all? So, hey, Josh Miller is a man. Hey, I mean, a lot of y'all I know, some of y'all don't. This is a conversation. So, Rhett and I are definitely, we're going to like speak very briefly on what we've done. Then we just want to talk to y'all and just talk about like right now, and definitely O's going to jump in with us. I mean, right now I am heavy into education. I went to the University of Cincinnati, got a business marketing degree, because I just knew I was just going to start my own business. I was going to do business, and that's it. My dad did business, mom did business. I'm doing business. That's what I thought, right? And got in there. I got my, I graduated, and I got a job as a programmer. So I'm sitting in there programming computers, and it was the most boring job in the world for me, right? Because I'm a talker. I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, what'd you do last night? What's going on? And I would go talk to some of the programmers, and they look at me like, why are you talking to me? I don't want to have a conversation with you. I'm like, so I was just so unhappy. And my cousin said, you know what? You should be a teacher. And I was like, please. I ain't trying to deal with nobody's bad kids, right? I'm not, no, you're bugging. And I went back to my job, and I was talking to somebody, yo, did you see that game? You know, that, what game? What? So it just wasn't working for me. I just was so unhappy. I went into education. I started out teaching fourth grade. Fourth grade. Now, y'all know fourth graders. Y'all was once fourth graders. And I fell in love with those kids. I fell in love with them. Fourth grade and fifth grade. And that was in 2002. I've been in education ever since. I went and got my master's in education. And then in last April, I just finished my doctorate. So thank you. I'm trying to get to Dr. Trevor Lindsay's level, Dr. Crumb's level. That's some work. Now, that's a fraternity to get into. That's some work. But I say all that just to kind of let you guys know where my head is, and kind of like I'd like to just have some discussion. And we can talk about anything, but that's what I'd like to talk about. But I like my this is my brother right here. This guy right here, Rhettmatic. When did we meet, Rhett?
I'd say
it was at Fat Beats.
Yes, it was in like mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have been 03, 04, something like that.
Give or take, yeah.
And I went to Fat Beats in LA, and
Fat Beats is a record store which originated in New York City. It's an independent retail record store that only sell basically hip hop records, anything that's hip hop. And they opened up an LA store, and I happened to work there along with a couple of luminaries like DJ Babu, who's from my same crew, and from a rapper called Dilated Peoples, J Rock, who started the Beat Junkies. He's an artist on Stone Store Records, and is the third member of J Lib, which is Mad Lib and J Dilla, and DJ Newmark from Jurassic 5. So it was a lot of independent LA hip hop groups or artists, or at least DJs. We were all working at there. You know, we're selling records, but after today we buy the records ourselves. So, but anyways, so I met J Rawls while I was working at Fat Beats, and I was working there part time per se, and we were selling his records at the store. So when he came walking in with his wife, and I was like, "You're J Rawls," and he's just like, "Yeah," and then
it's like, "You're Rhettmatic. Whoa, wait, you work here?" It was crazy, but I mean, like, it really like gave me a sense of like his love, and like J Rock, and you talk about Newmark and all those guys that worked there. J57 worked out in the New York store. Like, they lived it, they worked there, they loved it, they loved hip hop. So what I like to do is maybe give Rhett a couple minutes to talk. You just tell a little bit about your story, and then because I think we got to be done by 6:30, right? Oh, and that's like coming
give
quick.
Take.
Okay,
right.
And then I just wanted to maybe just open it up for any type of questions. I mean, as he said, I did Brown Skin Lady, and I guess we could talk about maybe some of our credits, some of the things we did.
You're the man.
Stop it. Cut it out. So tell them, who are you, Rhett? Why are you so dope? Tell us why.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nazareth Nurza. I'm professionally known as DJ Rhettmatic. That's my stage name. I'm a Filipino American that grew up in born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Pretty much grew up in a suburb of a city called Cerritos, which is like 30 minutes outside of Los Angeles, like maybe 15, 20 minutes off from Long Beach and Compton. My parents came from the Philippines to the United States in 1968. When we first moved, they moved to Santa Barbara, then came to Huntington Park, which is part of East LA, and then moved to Cerritos in 1971. I've been DJing for 30 years or so, give or take. I'm a DJ producer. I belong to a DJ group called the Beat Junkies. We're known for as a DJ/turntablist crew. Some other groups you might know from that type of style of DJing would be the Invisible Scratch Pickles, which include Mixmaster Mike, who's a DJ for the Beastie Boys, DJ Qbert, and of course the Executioners in New York, which include Grandmaster Rock Raider, who was a DMC world champion, and he also DJ'd for Busta Rhymes before he passed away. Rob Swift, Boogie Blind, who DJs for Pharoah Monch. We're known for during the days turntablists, meaning using the turntable as a musical instrument. So, anyways, I'm a part of a couple of rap groups. One of them is this independent West Coast hip hop group called the Visionaries. I've worked with a lot of people from Talib, Kweli, Jay Dilla, Madlib, Cypress Hill, Aloe Black, Mayor Hawthorne, just to name a few. So, just that's pretty much the gist of what I do. You can, if you don't know, you can always Google. Just recently, my crew, the Beat Junkies, we just celebrated our 25th anniversary. This year's our 25th anniversary, and in doing that, thank you. It's for a hip hop group, or even DJs, or just in general, it's hard to still be together to this for 25 years, let alone 2010. I mean, only a few groups that's still around is De La Soul. I mean, they even survived even before Tribe broke up. Who did? Yeah, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, EPMD. From all the golden eras groups right there. But I would say for our 25th anniversary, we decided, like, you know what, let's do something. As we matured, and in order to, we're getting older, so it's like we can't be DJing. We'll be DJing till we die. But music in general, if you see the music scene and the culture-wise, it's been changing real quick, especially with technology. For whatever reason, we decided to start our own DJ school. I mean, there's other DJ schools out there. There's like the Scratch Academy. I think there's Dub Spot. But the difference between our school is called the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound, and the reason why it's maybe different from other schools, because our crew is really well known for being like one of the innovators. I hate saying that stuff because it's
true though, man.
Like we're part of the forefront of the turntable scene, and we won a lot of DJ competitions and stuff like that. So, and we work with a lot of people. So I think it was like, in our way, besides starting a business, it was like our way to give back to the community. And it's just like, especially with hip hop, there's a discourse between the older generation and newer generation, and and usually from our generation, we were like, you don't usually share your. I think hip hop is the only genre that doesn't really respect their elders, or put down the younger generations. If you see the discontent between, or the discontent between the generations, and in order for our generation, or not our generation, our culture to survive I think whether we like it or not, it's our duty to share our knowledge and passion, and share it to the younger generation, or even not even the younger generation, anyone who wants to learn how to DJ and know the history of hip hop DJing. So that's what we plan to do. We actually open up in April, and we're doing pretty good. You know, we have a lot of kids. Our kids class is how many know about Herbie Hancock? Know about the song Rocket? We have our intermediate kids class ranging from 7 to 12 years old. We taught them how to scratch the Rocket scratch. So if you YouTube Beat Junkie Institute of Sound, you actually can find a. Oh, you got. Oh, you gonna play Rocket? Just so they can hear. But keep on. Okay. Anyways, and then we also have, believe it or not, in our adults and kids class, 70% are females. Wow. Yeah, and they're actually pretty good. Oh yeah. You guys know this song? Yeah. So imagine kids get to the solo part. Yeah, so this is the scratching solo right here. We taught our kids how to do this exact scratch like this, in synchronicity too, also. And then also same thing. We're teaching ladies. We actually did a thing called sip and scratch for ladies only. You have paint and wine. Well, you drink wine and learn how to scratch, and it's only ladies only. So we're trying to do stuff like that. But anyways, that's. In terms of what Jason says, is that I'm not an educator, a legitimate educator like Jason, but at least trying to teach at least what I know or what we know to whoever wants to listen to us. That's basically it.
Exactly. All right. Oh, you got anything? Because I know you. You got anything? I know.
So being DJs and producers, and I think with the idea of, this being Creative Control Fest, I guess the things that people that are not in that space that we exist in, they create in their own space. And so when you think about, I'm going to say this to Rhett because I'm going to be a fan as well, because looking at all the videos, I grew up watching DJ videos, and I've watched Rhett before I met him. Immaculate human being. He brings gifts every time I see him.
It's because I'm Filipino, man. It's the Asian culture, man.
Going into creating, and I'm going to give you that credit, some of the routines that we've seen as far as, and if you've never seen DJ routines, when he's talking about making the turntable an instrument, you may have one turntable that is playing a snare. You may have another turntable that is playing the kick drum. You may have another turntable that is playing a horn scratch, and then another turntable that is playing a bass line sound, just a bass note.
So basically, what he's saying that we as a soloist, we reconstruct songs or do solos like a guitarist, or there's like 4 of us and we actually play like a turntable band. Like one of us is a drummer. I'm usually the drummer. One person would be the lead vocalist. One person would be the bass player. And one person would be the horn section. So and we all play we play at the same time, but like a real band. We all have which part to come in and stuff. Did anyone come to our lecture workshop yesterday? Anyone raise a hands? A few. So those that saw, Jason played a video from Old Footage when we used to compete. It was in 1998, and it was in Amsterdam. So if you ever want to know exactly what I was talking about, YouTube Beat Junkies 1998 ITF Team World Championship. That's all you need to do. And then you'll understand what we're doing. We were using vinyl, so we took every different pieces of sounds from each record, and we had, now if you see O's setup, he has a laptop. That's what technology. us during those times, you had to have a stack of records and then sticker it up, and then you had to like switch it off and on to find the pieces and stuff. Now you don't have to do that with using a laptop and Serato. But yeah, that's what O was saying. And to add where the idea of turntable band, I had to give credit to DJ Qbert, Mixmaster Mike, and DJ Apollo. They were the first official DJ turntable band. They were, ironically, we know that hip-hop, the culture of hip-hop was started majorly African-American and, of course, Latinos. But in the West Coast, Asians, primarily Filipinos or Pacific Islanders, we were very involved in hip-hop. Like on the East Coast side, you have Puerto Ricans. They used to joke around the Filipinos are like the Puerto Ricans of the West Coast. So there's a bit, like the differences back then compared to now. Asians were never known as good. We were because of our culture. We were never outspoken. So there was never any Asian MCs, though there was a lot of dope Asian DJs, graph artists, and b-boys or dancers, whatnot. So, yeah, and Qbert, Mixmaster Mike, and Apollo are Filipino Americans. So, just to add to that. That's all.
And we need time. We need time because I want to. I'm gonna go to Rawls. So everybody anybody here that's heard the song "Brown Skin Lady"?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
How about the record?
So
I said, "Can you sign my album, dude?" I remember. Can you sign my album? No, the Fat Beats. I said, yes.
I'm gonna ask Rawls, what is when you thought about because you didn't know it was going to be for Kweli and Mos. When you sat down, tell us briefly about making that beat. And don't tell them too much because I got a plan for that.
Got it. Oh, okay. Honestly, University of Cincinnati, I was in my apartment. I made beats, usually at night, because I like to sleep when I was younger, before kids. I like to sleep during the day. Then I took later classes. So my last class ended at 9 o'clock. I was wired for sound till like 3 or 4 in the morning. So I made all my beats in the morning. But the way I did it was I usually just would take a record and just play it and just listen and just enjoy the music. And that's how I learned a lot of music. That's how I learned jazz. That's how I learned rock, etc. And that song, Gil Scott Heron, We Almost Lost Detroit, I mean, it was so incredible. And I knew from the second that I heard the I knew I was going to take that. I knew I was going to flip that. I knew it. So I basically created that just from putting myself in a creative space of just enjoying the music.
So enjoying, for your process to create music, you first have, because you're sample based.
Yes.
So you first have to enjoy the record that you're listening to before you actually say, I'm going to make something.
Normally, yeah, that's how I do it. I mean, unless I'm looking for drums, then I'm usually just playing the music, because when I do my beats, I get all my drums from a record. I don't use the kits. I know that's, the thing now, and I get that, and that makes sense. Somebody has already done the work for you. That's part of my creative process. I enjoy listening to, Bernard Purdy do something and then taking the hits and making my own pattern. That's part of the process for me, and it gives me enjoyment.
Man, I got 1,000 questions. Because I want to make sure that y'all got time. So shout out to Buka in the building, Polar Entertainment.
All that in a bag of chips.
So I know something that the world may not know, and there's an album coming.
Ooh. What album?
And,
what kind of album?
And it's a dope name. It's a very dope name. It's called Rhettmatic. Y'all should make some noise for that. So, and it's an album that is going to be constructed by Rhettmatic and J Rawls. The song that I played for you is a record from King Veda. Y'all know King Veda? It's a record called Felty.
Yeah.
And it was produced. It's actually a record that a beat that y'all made,
Yep.
and then y'all gave it to him
Yeah,
for a project that he did.
enjoyed it, yeah.
So y'all been working on this for a while.
Yes.
I know Rhett got mad at me, probably got like, yo, you quit asking about this on public forums, on Twitter. I'm like, yo, what's up with the album? But now that you know, West Coast, Midwest, time and distance has prevented that album to really come about tonight.
Exactly, and that makes a lot of sense. That's really what it is. I mean, we could send stuff back and forth, but we enjoy sitting together.
Talk about that. Here, I'm gonna give the mic to Rhett. Talk about that process of being in the studio together and what that's like, the creative process.
That's why O's dope. Yeah. Hey, give O a round of applause, please. He's been here all day. It's my dude right here, man.
So basically, when we decided, like, let's work, me as a producer, I've never really, at the time, was working with anyone, and especially with Jay, who has, you know, a couple of classics under his belt. Our style of music was, you know, at least how we make beats was different. The process and even our style of music. His is very jazzy, soulful. Mine is more aggressive, hardcore boom bap. So, but I've always wanted, you know, but I also like doing jazzy soulful. But I just for whatever reason, I've always liked hard drums and aggressiveness and just want to smack in your face and stuff. But but as a DJ, I like listening to like funk, disco, soul, house and stuff. And I know he's into that as a DJ. So I needed someone to just let me try this to expand. And what's cool is when we started working, we became really good friends. I was already a fan of Jay's work, but just because of the process of when we started, we became good friends. And I think, like you said, what Jay, he likes to do in the process. And for me, it was learning something about, okay, how do I learn how to work with someone else that I'm used to doing myself, and then how to be open-minded about it. And it was cool to learn that. Jay works on a sampler called the ASR-10, which is a keyboard sampler. At the time, I was working on a drum machine sampler called the MPC 2000. Now I'm actually use a software called Reason. So even now, how do we use two different equipments and two different styles and make music together? So.
Yeah. Well, let me talk to that. That's part of the fun. Like he said, he has those hard drums and those kind of. I love his drum patterns. Real jerky and real kind of off tempo.
I'm influenced by, of course, Dr. Dre, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Jay Dilla, Madlib. So, Large Professor.
Jay Dilla. This is Jay Dilla's DJ right here. Just
no,
so
no,
y'all
no,
know.
No. Let's
That's
get
crazy for me.
I was Jay Dilla's
DJ.
Last tour DJ. J Rock is the official DJ for Jay.
He was, but you did the last tour.
Okay, all right, I'll do it.
Come on, man. You did the last tour. So that's always been crazy to me. But it's like, so a lot of times, to be honest with you, when we go in, I just tell him, hey, make some drums. Make a drum pattern. Just let me hear what you got, and just boom. And we're listening, and then we'll just play records and listen to some different samples and different songs and get a vibe or get a feel. Or he's playing a pattern and I'm like, oh, I think like this artist, I can feel on that. That kind of feel, that kind of thing. And then we just get to chopping. We chop it up.
Man, we could do this all day. It'll happen again. It'll happen again. Make some noise for J. Rawls, DJ Rhettmatic.